Dennis Allen recaps the Saints' loss to the Los Angeles Chargers in his Saints-Chargers post-game interview. I mean, this is ugly. You know, like what do you even say for Dennis Allen right here? Like, if you're Dennis Allen, I mean, team put up an absolute stinker, could do absolutely nothing. You caught the Chargers in the best situational spot possible. You with 10 days rest, coming off of an embarrassment against Denver, and the Chargers on 5 days rest. Couldn't be in a better situation, and you do what we did last year in these kind of good situations where off of a bye week or with extra rest, doesn't matter, team was just completely dominated in every single way. So if you're Dennis, what do you say? You got to know your time is coming to an end as Saints head coach, but let's see how he tries to spin it, and we'll recap and react as only we can do.
Their guy, made the play. We weren't able to make it. Offensively, we just really couldn't get, anything going offensively. And then when we did, we had too many penalties, which put us in the long distance situations that we just couldn't overcome. So, we'll go back, get to.
I mean, it's crazy because offensively they weren't like. If you look at it was kind of a weird game because there's some games, like there's some box scores where you can look at a box score and you can see a team where they have like 3 yards per play and 1.7 yards a pass, and they're averaging 1.3 yards a rush, and it's very easy to see like, okay, obviously they were not doing much in this game. The Saints were really interesting because they weren't really like that. Like they averaged above average YPP. They had over 100 yards rushing, and there was no real glaring thing of why, besides the third downs. Third downs was really, really bad. But besides that, there wasn't a glaring, like, okay, this is an obvious indicator of an offensive issue. But watching the game was like the total opposite. We're watching the game, it was like, this is some of the worst football I've ever seen. This is horrendous. So it was kind of a weird box score / how the game actually played out. But, yeah, I mean, the Saints just, it seems like every time they had some kind of momentum going, they would immediately get into like a holding or a false start or something that would back them up, kill the drive, and just so many punts. I mean, Habel, last time I checked, he had 9 punts. Like that is just crazy.
To work, hopefully get a couple more guys back.
Dennis, unless Drew Brees is one of those guys you're getting back, I don't think that matters anymore. Like, yes, it's going to help getting Carr back. Yes, it's going to help getting McCoy back. But at this point, you're 2-6. You've lost 6 straight games. I don't think Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss are walking through the door. So the whole like getting people back thing. Yes, Carr will help, but he's not going to help to much more than about 8 wins.
And hopefully start playing some better football.
Dennis, y'all were saying that you felt like the return of a lot of these injured starters would kind of provide a spark for the team. But why do you think, like, even though they came back, the offense wasn't able to?
Yeah, look, it's hard to say. I think we got to go back and evaluate exactly, what was going on there. But obviously, we really couldn't get,
You know what my problem with like this answer? Because Dennis always gives this answer. He always says, we got to go back and evaluate and see and look at the tape. Like you always hear that. You always hear Dennis say, we got to look at the tape. Well, when you hear that for like 3 straight seasons, and to me, there isn't any evidence that they know what they're looking for in the tape. Because you would think if you hear that and then they fix it, you'd be like, okay, there's something to that, right? Like they just need to get a good look at what's going on in order to fix these problems. But the Saints have never shown under Dennis Allen that they actually do go back, look at the tape, look at what's happening, and then make changes. They have yet to do that.
Much going offensively, and then we made some big plays. We made some explosive plays, and then we followed it up with, penalties, which put us into long distance situations. And right now we're not overcoming those, and so we've got to play a cleaner game to give ourselves a chance. Penalties I thought hurt us.
What made you decide to switch quarterbacks?
I just felt like we needed to do something to try to get something going offensively.
I thought moving to Hayner was the right move. I think Rattler, he didn't look good out there. He did not look like he had the game and he didn't have the feel of the game. He didn't have the tempo of the game. He was late on throws. He was missing open guys. He was messing up his reads. It just wasn't his best game. So yeah, if you at that point, like, okay, yeah, throw Hainer out there. What's the worst thing that can happen? I think it was. I think it was good. I think like that was the right time to do that, and I think it was appropriate to do that.
We weren't able to move the football, and I felt like we needed to do something to try to create some sort of spark.
What did you think Spencer Rattler was having trouble doing today?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of reads that probably could have been better on. And look, we certainly didn't help him with a couple of drops and things of that nature. I think
I know I watch every single snap of this team, but man, it does seem like they have so many drops. Like it seems like just off the hands kind of things, like not like contested catches drops, like just wide open off the hands, batted. Like I've never seen so many balls that like they may be slightly high or something, but so many passes seem to be hit the hands and then batted up with the Saints. It seems like something they do a lot.
Just the margin for error right now is small, and so when we have opportunities to make plays, I think we have to be able to make the plays.
Rattler didn't have many passes beyond 10 yards. Did y'all go in?
We had a couple that were dialed up to try to get the ball down the field, and for whatever reason, whether it was the pressure, or the coverage took it away, and we had to go and put the ball underneath.
Yeah, I thought it was way too conservative with Rattler. I mean, everything was horizontal. And when I say horizontal passes, I mean like screens, I mean throws to the flats, I mean, even screens to wide receivers or short, anything where he's not stretching the field vertically. Anything that the route is coming out sideways or coming out horizontal like that, that's what I mean. And it just seemed like that was all that was with Rattler. And there was nothing down the field. And I don't, you're 2-5, like, open up the playbook. This is his, this is not his first start. You're finally getting some pieces back. Open it up. Like what's the worst case scenario in opening up the playbook and really I'm not saying make him throw it 70 times, but I'm saying like dial up some of the plays that we know are there. Like dial up some of the plays that were there when Carr was in. Just open up the whole playbook. At that point, like you should be able to do that.
Did y'all go into that with a more conservative game plan in terms of
throwing
downfield?
No, I think we had some shot plays up there that we just didn't, for multiple reasons, whether it was pressure or covered, where we had to get the ball down rather than get the ball down the field.
Is it fair?
I also don't like those answers. I cannot stand whenever we see like the most conservative offense possible, and then afterwards it's like, no, we really didn't have a conservative game plan. And it's like, well, brother, what happened then? Because we just saw the most conservative offensive game I've ever seen. So if the game plan wasn't conservative, then how did it get away from it so much? How did y'all get away so much from the game plan that it became the most conservative offense I've ever seen?
Fair to say the offensive penalties have been like an ongoing issue?
Well, it's certainly something that we still need to work to clean up. I don't know that I'm saying that that's an ongoing issue. I mean, obviously, anytime you have them, it's a problem, and so we've got to work to get those cleaned up.
Was the hamstring injury for Kendre Miller, the same one that sideline? Like, was it the same hamstring?
No, I think it's a different hamstring. I think it's opposite side.
Same with Marshawn, or how about Marshawn?
I think it's the same one that was, kind of pulled him out of the game last week.
So aggravated.
Yeah.
2 more hamstring injuries. Is that just maddening? That's the continued theme.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, for those 2 players, because they kind of had a little bit of that in their history, and so we've got to, try to figure out how we can eliminate that.
Yeah, what's kind of the message at this point? 6 losses in a row.
Yeah, the message is it's the people in the room in there that are going to have to change it. Nobody's coming from outside the building. It's going to have to be the guys that are in that locker room, coaches, to fix it. I mean that's what it is, and we have to pay better attention to all the details, and we have to do a better job of coaching all the details.
I mean, we're talking about 6 weeks. Like 6 weeks of the NFL season where you're losing games, and 4 of them have not been competitive. I mean, the second half of the Bucs game, not competitive. The Broncos, not competitive for a single second. This game really wasn't competitive. The Chiefs game really wasn't competitive. Like they aren't like just keep hammering away, guys. Like we'll get one soon. I know we're on the razor's edge. Like that is not the case. They're getting dominated. Like this is not something has to change in a very big way. We're not even like we're so far away from winning these games. We're not even to the point to where we can be like competitive in the second half. Or I mean, when is the last time you were watching the Saints game and you were on the edge of your couch like, all right, here we go. Like this is the moment. It has to be the Atlanta game. It has to be the Atlanta game. The last possession before the field goal is the last time I was really like into the game like we can win this. I would never felt like that against Kansas City. Never felt like that in any of the other games. Because even the Buccaneers game, when we were doing well off the turnovers, it was still 17-0. And yeah, we got up 27-24, but then immediately, poof, it was gone.
Because details matter in our league, and we don't get to pick and choose which ones do and which ones don't.
Is there a chance Derek plays next week? Is that possible?
I think there's a possibility, yeah.
Well, if Derek doesn't play, brother, I mean, not that it really matters in the grand scheme of things, but yeesh.
How did you think Andrew did under the circumstances just coming in?
Yeah, look, I mean, I thought he did some good things, created a few plays.
I thought Hayner was okay too. I mean, it was whatever. I did think it was weird how much, like, again, they seemingly had like 2 playbooks because Hayner comes in, all of a sudden they're doing like double reverse passes, they're doing some like deeper passes down the field, some stuff in the middle of the field, and it's like, if that was the plan, like if that was Hayner's playbook and Rattler's playbook was different, they just start Hayner. You just start Hayner at that point, and it drives me crazy. I understand it's preseason, but the offense that Rattler was running in the preseason looked totally different than the offense he was running today or against the Chargers. It just looks like it was a completely different version of the same offense. And I think that's unfair to Rattler and unfair to the team that you seemingly kind of handcuff yourself with just such a shallow playbook.
Took us down and gave us an opportunity to score, some points. But ultimately, we got to play better as a group.
It's very easy to look at this and assume that the quarterback makes all the difference. What's bothering you most about the offense outside of just the quarterback?
Well, I just think the fundamentals of getting in and out of the huddle, get lined up, let's get a ball play called, let's get moving here. I just thought it was sloppy today, and so I think
Yeah, I just don't think that's it, Dennis. I just don't think that getting a ball play called or getting in and out of the huddle is the difference in 6 straight weeks of basically complete embarrassment. And with certainly 4 weeks of a straight embarrassment. And if we're talking offensively, the Philadelphia game was a total embarrassment offensively. I mean, there's not much of anything. There's not. It's just really hard for me to believe that fundamentals and getting in and out of the huddle is the difference between this team being just nothing on offense. And it's always something. Like, it's always like, okay, well, we don't have Eric McCoy. Oh, well, now we don't have Taysom Hill. Oh, well, now we don't have Derek Carr. It's like, I've always said this about Dennis Allen. He seems to make it to where he needs things to be perfect for there to be success. If there is one thing that is off, it seems like that topples the entire house of cards. Like, he's talking about penalties, okay? Like, oh, well, we got a penalty, so, what can you do? Well, the Eagles figured out how to convert 3rd and 16. The Chiefs figured out how to convert, 2nd and 34 or whatever? Like, something. Not everything is lined up perfectly. Not everything is lined up exactly right all the time. Sometimes you just have to kind of overcome that. But it seems like if one thing is off, the Saints culture or the Saints whatever seems to completely topple.
We got to work hard to clean those things up. And then, I think, we got to be able to rely on our better players to to make some plays for us. And so I think that's, that's where we.
And that's kind of what I'm saying too. Like, and yes, injuries, there is a critical mass of injuries where you cannot overcome that. And I've talked about that for three weeks now when we had Connor McGovern and Mason Tipton and Bub Means. But today, we're pretty close to full strength. Like, I know we still don't have McCoy. I know we still don't have Carr, but you have Olave. You have Taysom. You've got a couple offensive linemen back. Ruiz is back. Lucas Patrick's back. Like, this is pretty close. Yeah, Carr is missing. Yes, but there has to be more. You've got all these players coming back. You've got 10 days to prepare. You've got a quarterback who's making his third start. There really isn't. This is the game where you really can't use the same excuse that you can use against Denver. Because Denver, yeah, absolutely. It's Mason Tipton, Bub Means. Like, the offensive line is a complete mess. You got a rookie quarterback playing his second game in 4 days or whatever it was. But this situation, all that kind of goes out the window.
We've got to improve. I mean, obviously, we got two young quarterbacks, both of which I like a lot. But both are young quarterbacks, and so you got to deal with some of the challenges that go along with that.
It's frustrating, just the explosives defensively, especially on a day like today when you kind of clean some of this stuff up from the past couple.
Yeah, look, we did a good.
Yeah, I believe the Saints are giving up the most yak in the NFL, and giving up explosive plays is certainly a part of that.
Good job on a lot of things. The one, play there in the fourth quarter down, our left sideline or their right sideline, I think that's a young player not fully understanding, how that coverage is being played. The one on Alante, I thought he was in great position, and
when Ladd mossed Alante,
I really thought.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of those should have been picked. Like, the Kool-Aid one should have been picked. It's just like, but not only are they not picked, they go for 40 yards, 60 yards, touchdowns. I mean, it's just ugly.
When the ball went up, I thought that was going to be an interception. They made the play. We didn't. So some of those, like that, is part of playing the game of football. We gotta limit the ones that we can control a little bit.
Can you say what happened with Bub Means? It's too late in the game for us to get an update on that.
So it was an ankle there at the end of the game. I'm not sure, the extent of the ankle injury.
I believe it was Rattlers last series of the game. You guys had gone backwards because of a penalty. I think it was 2nd and 16, 3rd and 16, and probably 7-8 yards would have got you in field goal range. Was there anything with the decision making on those plays or anything that was like?
I'd have to probably go back and look at it. I don't specifically recall. I think when you're in that situation, you're trying to get yourself into, field goal range. I think that's the number one thing when you're in a longer distance situation. The first thing you're trying to do is get yourself into field goal range. And so the exact play, I don't exactly recall.
Dennis, the Saints haven't lost 6 straight since 2005, and obviously that resulted in a lot of major changes after the season. Like you said last week, you don't worry about that stuff, but do you feel like when you're kind of in the midst of this losing streak that like you have to have conversations with like Mickey or the front office?
Yeah, look,
like,
we have conversations every day. You know what I mean? And so I don't feel any more sense of, having to have these conversations. Look, I think we all understand that it's a results-oriented business, and we need to play better football. I think we all understand that.
That's a defeated man, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the most just defeated, broken interviews I've seen from Dennis and his entire tenure. This is a guy who I think sometimes you can look at a team and you can see like when it is over. I think now you can look at Dennis and tell he knows it's over. He knows either the season's over or his time is over, or he may have even been told, a lot of times, and some of the stuff is just me kind of guessing, but I do think sometimes Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Him and Mickey were having a conversation after Denver, and they lay out this plan of like, hey, look, just go to Los Angeles, win that game, get Carr back. We win against Carolina. Like, I'm sure there's some of that, but there's also probably some of the like, hey, look, I can only protect you for so long before we have to make a move. I think those kind of conversations happen too, just like they would happen in any job. If you're failing at your job enough, your supervisor may tell you like, look, one more big mistake and there's nothing I can really do. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Mickey kind of laid that out for Dennis. Like, look, I'm trying to give you some time here, but 6 games in a row, 7 games in a row, 8 games in a row, like we can't really do that. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Dennis knows the writing's on the wall and, that's all she wrote. But yeah, this is a defeated interview. This is a tough one to listen to. Dennis has no answers. He's just kind of stammering, just kind of same old stuff, the old classics. Tough from Dennis, but I mean, it's not good. It's not good at all. But I mean, who knows? This might be the last post-game interview we hear from Dennis Allen as a head coach. I mean, his seat has got to be nuclearly hot. If they weren't playing Carolina, it might be the time for Mickey, but I think there may be some idea of like, look, go to Carolina, win, get Carr back. Let's see what happens there. But again, it might be one of those things where Mickey told Dennis, like, look, you cannot go get embarrassed in Los Angeles. And that's exactly what he did. All right, get on down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.